So, folks, I already did this video, but I did not do a podcast on it. In the in the video I did it from my truck. It was fresh on my mind. Uh, I thought it, from my perspective, I thought it would be impactful. I thought it would be important, especially anyone, like always on my podcast or my videos or anything I talk about, social media. If it's relatable, when you can understand it in this way, that it would be helpful to get some of these tools and understand this mentality. But for whatever reason, I had a problem on my phone, I had a problem on the laptop, and for whatever reason, I cannot post this video. So I usually record from two different platforms. For now, you've heard it over and over. Excuse me. No, I don't edit. Uh, Again, when it gets to the next level, start having interesting people on and guests and interviewing them or going to them, it'd be different. But for whatever reason, I still have the video and it didn't post. I can't get it to post. I don't know what it is. So I realized I didn't do a podcast on it, and I'm about 4 days off schedule again. But I always come through. I always do what the fuck I say I'm going to do, even if it's later, even without expectations, even if I don't know the outcome. See, that's what people like us do. And this is what I'm about to talk about that's intimidating to people. So many things I think about. Oh, hold on a second. So, if you're in Texas, look, got sunburn on my mostly bald head. It's been fucking fabulous weather here. Had a great weekend. Had a good, reasonable training week. Got some good runs in. Not hardcore training, but kind of training. Again, I don't talk about the things I'm doing until I'm done now. I quit doing that. So had a good date day with the mamacita, the wife. We had a friend's. It's kind of like a family member's birthday party, big birthday party, 60th birthday party this weekend, and then I had a great hike with my daughter, one of the girls today. We haven't did that in a while, and I decided not to run. See couple of my grandkids, didn't get to see all of them. I mean, that was a great weekend, and it was a great week, and it's beautiful weather. It was like 82 today, and we're in February. Hopefully, we don't have another real big cold front. Pray. I hope it just goes away. I hope it gets a little bit cool again before Easter, and that's it. But, so, something I think about quite often. I hope this whole thing records. But, recording from today, not the makeshift podcast studio that's still being worked on. Plan on working on it today, but I try to spend time. I try to give all of my loved ones show them that they matter, and us. We spend time together, and as life gets more challenging, as our life changes in general, we seem to have less time. It's about what's important. It's about the people who are important. We make time for things and people that are important. It's just that simple. And I noticed that a lot of us ain't spending quality time together anymore. It seems like everything's rushed, everything's crammed. We got to quit that. And I really need to do some hardcore training today, and I didn't. But like last weekend, man, I had two of my grandkids. I had my nephew. They love fucking roller skating. Again, an 80s thing and back. I mean, and I got them skating. They fell in love with it. Now that's all they want to do. I mean, it's just one of the many things that we're not buying them stuff. We don't do that. We're doing experiences. If we can't take a trip, if we can't go somewhere, we're doing stuff like that. And that was last weekend. Got some housework done and some training. This week it was the wife, a friend's birthday. Got to see the grandkids. Got training in. A little bit of housework done. And spend time with the daughter by herself, and we got a great hike. So that's stuff that can't be replaced. And got plenty of sun, and I'm happy to get a little sunburn or some maybe even going towards a little tan in February. And so got home at the end of the day, took a shower. I still need to eat more, and poured a glass of wine and dealt with my animals, and it's like, I gotta do this podcast. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it exactly the same way. And nothing ever comes out the exact same way. So like today, just you see me no hat on, bald head, almost bald head, sunburn. I always say I'm representing what I'm about. So today you just see a palm tree. See that? That's still what I'm about. Where's a palm tree? There's a palm tree. It's manifestation. If it's not training stuff, if it's not my brand, if it's not somebody's brand I'm in support of, if it's not how I get up every day and visualize my life, no matter how long it takes, and if it's the last thing I do, I'm still gonna fucking do it. Every day is this. So I have about 6 of these shirts. I have 6, and all 2 of them a piece are in the same color. Like I didn't have a black one before. Green, like a we call aqua green or teal green, a blue, and then a black one, and then like a gray one or something. And it's just there's a lot of ways I'm not a basic man. If you know me, you know that's true. But with certain things, it's not just getting older. With more of my life is dialed in as discipline. I'm very standard about some things. I'm consistent. Unlike most of society, which you are consistent at being inconsistent. And that's what's relatable to most people, is inconsistency. So when someone comes along who is what the fuck you think they are, and they live what they say, and they back things up. I tell you what, one of our girlfriends, my friend's wife, both of them were my friends before they ever got married. Ran to her the other day. We just had a brief conversation. I told her I had texted him. We're trying to make some plans for us 4 as a couple, and then me and him with some couple other guys. And I don't hardly fucking deal with anybody or try to meet up with anybody, but these handful of individuals I had on my mind, and they're important. I said, she told me, we're around the same age, man, known each other since teenagers. And she goes, I just told him the other day, she was talking about myself, and she goes, the shit he says on social media and the shit he talks about on his podcast, whatever she said, she goes, again, what's talking shit? I didn't take it personal from her. Talking shit means a lot of different things to a lot of different people if you can't back it up. She goes, he puts it out there. She goes, I said, do I never say names? I never talk about religion. I never talk about race, sexual preference, any of that shit. She goes, no, you don't. She goes, I thought, motherfucker puts it out there and talks shit, but he backs it up how he lives. See, that's the difference. That's what's intimidating to people. Because we live in a world where a lot of you motherfuckers are motherfuckers you know. Whether it be your fucking employer, whether it be your family, whether it be you, whether it be your fucking friends. We go talk shit and we gossip. And we make threats, things like that behind people's back. That we most likely ain't going to follow through with. Or we're not going to, or we never do. And then some motherfuckers come along that make commitments and promises to your face. And we're willing to follow through, not knowing the outcome or consequences. And this is very intimidating to people. So I was just, things that have been on my mind. This is very important. People watching this, or you send it to someone, which I hope you do, would never fucking admit this. They'll call it reaching, overthinking, overanalyzing. And I lived a lot of my life thinking that. Especially when I was younger. It just it would make me feel overwhelmed. Now I fucking dialed it in. It's very much. People say it's a blessing and a curse. It used to be a blessing and a curse. Now it's just a fucking blessing. Promise you that. I don't even stress about it. It's just fucking second nature. It's just like it should be on a screen. It's like I could read your intentions. If you know me, you know that's true. So, I did a post a while back, and maybe I did a podcast on this, maybe a season or 2 ago. It's called "Sabotage is Always an Inside Job." Now, I want to add a little bit to that today. I may forget something like I always do, because I don't feel like it's going to be as good as the first one. And it was, people cannot sabotage you unless they have access to you. They cannot sabotage you unless what I call, you let them in your red zone, which is your circle of trust. And I'm going to add something to this I didn't have in this other video. I just told some loved ones this week. I said, for those of us that know us well, And you know why we don't trust. We don't have an irrational mentality of why we don't trust people, just talking shit because it sounds cool. You know that we have legitimate life experiences of why we don't trust. So if we let you in that circle just a little bit, to even dip your toes, to get your toes wet, just enough where it makes you feel like we trust you. At first, I said these people you let in and we let in and fuck it up. They're dangerous. Yeah, they can be. They're the worst kind of people because a lot of these people, other people think they are good people. They're honorable people. That they have good morals and they good values because they're nice. Because they might be financially successful. They might be successful in business. Why would they do that? Let me tell you something. We're more dangerous. You need to understand that. If we let you in our circle of trust when we hardly trust anyone our entire life, or since we've been older adults and you fuck it up, it's stuff that they think that we don't know. So when sometimes people say, let it go, it's not worth your energy, it's not worth your time, it is mine. And let me tell you why it's worth my energy and time. Because most of y'all won't take the time and energy to do it, and that's why these motherfuckers are like they are. I got the energy. I'll make the fucking time. Just like fucking understand this. Haters and people judge you and criticize you. You'll say that. A lot of haters say this. I don't have time. Haters always make fucking time. That's what the fuck they do. They always make time to hate and criticize. So I'm going to make time to hold you accountable and check your ass. Because it's so fucking important to me about the fucking principle. It's not about the act itself. It's the fucking principle. And I'm willing to do it because other people won't. So I was thinking about this. This is how much I'm in my head. And I'm not stressing about it. Again, y'all don't understand this because you don't live in this world. Almost done with this glass. Second glass. So, if I think about my life, I only can use my experience. People cannot sabotage us unless they have access to us. Again, you hear me say this over and over like a lot of things. Again, because it fits universally. Strangers are hardly ever haters are hardly ever strangers. What motive do they have? What reason does somebody have to hate on you? Try to sabotage you? Try to fucking gossip about you? Unless they think they can fuck something up for you. Man, I probably ain't going to finish it all today. I can go so deep with this. You would be surprised how many people have more, and I mean more, what society standards are. Material things, money, popularity, and are still jealous of some of us. You see a statement, maybe you've seen on Instagram or Facebook. I knew I was different when motherfuckers that had more than me were still hating on me and still jealous. We have something that some of them do not have. We pick character over reputation and popularity. Maybe they don't have the love we have. Maybe they don't have the fucking savagery we have. They don't have the fucking discipline we have. They don't have the fucking respect because there's a lot of people out of my fucking life. You know why? Because I fucking demand respect. I give it, but I'll fucking checkmate your ass disrespect. Any age, no matter your title, no matter your position, no matter what authority you think you have over another man. And this is what men like. Men in general, they want authority and jurisdiction and power over other men. It's been since the beginning of time. The smallest little things, they never would admit to this. Because why would a person who has more money, more resources, more popularity, more likes, more of anything, be hating on somebody with less of those things? Because people like us don't give a fuck. They think they don't until they come across us. So I was thinking about this. If I think about my life, I was telling the wife and some of the family members, I said, if I think about it, a lot of these people, again, this is how my mind works. It clicks like this to me. I said, this is what for any of you that came from, and again, I'm almost 50 years old. Go back to any part of your life. Go back to childhood. Any of us that came from a disadvantaged upbringing, financially, economically, lack of parents. If you were in a deficit, that could be one less parent. It could be living in a disadvantaged neighborhood. It could be economics. It could be no car. It could be not having a good house. It could be someone in your house didn't even earn above the poverty level. Whatever it is, if it's one or all of those things, however you felt, if you were racially profiled, whatever it was. This is the thing. Let me go back to this. So people that have a lot of advantages and privileges, they often don't know it. They don't owe people an apology because they just happen to have been born into a family. Whatever. Again, we have to know the formula, and I don't have time to dig into that today. Some of the people worked hard. They made the right sacrifices. They did the right things, made the right investments. They had the right framework and mindset because someone taught them that. That doesn't mean all of them did. There's a lot of these people who have not worked hard to get where they're at. It doesn't mean they didn't show up. But sometimes that's all people had to do was just show the fuck up. If you came from the right family, if you had the right fucking connections that usually were manufactured. Remember this. A lot of people had a manufactured network that was already built in just from the family they came from. It was already set. All they had to do was show the fuck up and not fuck up. And if you didn't fuck it up, good job. You didn't fuck it up. If you did something with it besides not fuck it up, good job. They don't owe us an apology. No more than if you didn't come from that, like I didn't, and a lot of us didn't, you don't owe an apology either. But privilege is often invisible to those that have it. What a lot of these people, this is what I realize. I realize the people I see as leaders now, not bosses. We're not talking about just the workplace. We're talking about in life. And I realize, if I reflect back on my life, even being younger, I said they were always trying to keep us out of the loop. They were. Didn't have the right family last name, didn't come from the right neighborhood, always fucking confrontational. Maybe we had, for myself being younger, had a bad temper, had anger problems, got in a lot of fights, whatever it may be. They thought we would hang ourselves. And unfortunately, even people I care about that may have turned their life around, and some of them haven't turned their life around. It doesn't mean this was all of our constituents. Some people like us we ran in multiple circles. And you know it. I'm just talking about if I'm going back to our upbringing and our neighborhood and our economic background, our family background. This is really what they would never say. There were some of us who was a real threat. They knew we were real leaders. They knew we could change stuff, whether it be sports, whether it be in the workplace, whatever per scale, smallest to biggest, whether it be on a council, whether it be in a town, whether it be in a fucking fraternity, whether it be in any organization. They listened to a motherfucker like me the way I talk. And they think, can't let that person in. Cannot let this motherfucker in. And then what happens is some of them that haven't been around us for years or not been around us at all. So let me just use this example. People that we may grew up with that have a reasonable amount of education, school education. They haven't been around us for years. And then when they get around us or we have a conversation with us, they kind of counted us out, or a lot counted us out. They don't think that we know what we know and we have the amount of self-education and intelligence we have. Because some of them have an education and have a low level of intelligence. They really don't have that much self-education. Especially if they haven't dealt with a lot of adversity in their life. They haven't been reasonably cultured. We're not talking about just fucking traveling. We're talking about reasonably cultured and other ethnicities and backgrounds and stuff like that. They've been sheltered, and sheltered doesn't mean rich. They've been sheltered and protected, and they have an education that got them maybe they got the degree and got the job, and they're very fucking intimidated by us because we're a real threat. That's why. Because we're the type of people that actually get in there and make changes on whatever it is, if we decide to. Or, well, here's the thing. They're going to keep us out anyway. And what they're hoping is that we think exactly that. They're never going to let us in. See, these people that are connected 2, 3, 4, 5 generations or more, they'll sweep their shit under the rug, but they'll dig our fucking dirt up. We don't give a fuck if you do. So I often think, I said, what phase are we talking about with some of us? You talking about a teenage phase I had for about fucking 18 months? that didn't ever transfer into adulthood, what they were hoping was a lot of us would hang ourselves. They were hoping a lot of us, this is what they think. Some of the background or some of our history, they'll think just a matter of time for their own drugs in jail, prison, and they won't be able to be a part of it. There's no way they can run for councils, be in an organization, get certain jobs. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people I think that I know for sure that have felonies, that have been to prison, that maybe have had a drug problem, that totally changed their life, not just for 6 months. They've been years they changed their life. And there's certain things they cannot do, the jobs they can't have. But there are some of us, we don't have none of those things, motherfucker. We can. They seen the potential in us early. They were hoping we didn't see it. They were hoping we would self-sabotage ourselves, that we would hang ourselves. Or really and truly, a lot of us that came from a lot of the backgrounds we did, I think, and I can look back at my life, I think I didn't understand this and didn't even realize it at the time. I didn't understand this until I was probably in my 30s. They thought that's not for us. That's for those families. It's like me and some of my friends talked. I played sports with. It was like, for some of us, if we didn't get a scholarship, it was either the military or the highest paying factory job around. We didn't know that we were being directed towards that. That if that was like the options. We didn't know there were other options out there. And those families and those people fucking love the fact that we think that way. And they think that because some of us have gotten older, that's it for us. They know that we can sway the fucking vote. That we can take people. That some of us don't have felonies. We never had a drug problem. We haven't been to prison. And we have the fucking self-education and intelligence to fucking put your lights out. That's what it is. So what they have to do is they have to get up extra fucking early and work that much harder on trying to sabotage us. That's why they get other people. That's why they try to make up stuff. That's why they try to dig up dirt. And this is why also they don't support people like us. They support the people that they want it to be, even if it's not them. Some people will support people like myself or people like yourself because of it. It's us. And the other people will not just because it's us. It doesn't matter how strong and how powerful our message is. It doesn't matter what we stand for. Our character above our reputation. How we live our life. How we treat people. What we stand for. They don't give a fuck. They care that it's us. So in the mentality, if I look back even at being in this whole area, in this town my whole life, this sounds crazy. I can reflect back of things that happened as a kid up to a teenager, up to current day of what's going on, and y'all know what's going on, of how things have always worked against me. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not saying the man's against me or shit don't work out or fucking I don't say any of that shit. I realize now what a threat I am to some of these people. They cannot let us get in positions where we're decision makers and we're game changers and we can change the rules and we can change the codes on things. Because let me tell you something. We want to do it for everybody to have equal opportunity for the ones that put in the work and who deserve it, not for you, who you decide deserves it. So anybody out there, if you don't have a fucking felony, you're not on fucking drugs, and you haven't been to prison, please stop yourself from doing it if you want to be a difference maker. If you haven't done drugs, don't think you'll be the exception. If you haven't been to jail and got a fucking felony, don't fuck up. These people are counting us out. And let me tell you, so when somebody's third or fourth or fifth generation on anything, and you hear things like, we want to preserve heritage. It sounds crazy, especially white guys my age. Let me backtrack. You know what most people want to preserve? Old white money. The most dangerous fucking club and organization that there is in this fucking country, in this world mostly. White guy. They want to preserve old white money. If you hear anybody that's generational in the same area, and you hear them say heritage, tradition, our elders, people eat that shit up. Let me tell you why. Because it's all their fucking people. That's why. Do you think someone that's third or fourth or fifth or more generations deep is going to, from our government, from our local government to our fucking government in our country, to your organization at your company or a family business, whatever it is, traditional ritual bullshit. Do you think they're going to make changes that are going to fucking work for everybody? What do they have to gain? They've got monopolies. They don't want it fucked up. People like us will fuck it up. So it doesn't matter how good our morals are, how good our values are, what we stand for. Not nice person, fucking good person. And if you have to keep trying to convince yourself that you're a fucking good person, you should shut the fuck up. Because you're not. Again, nice person, good person. Doesn't mean it can't be the same thing, but it doesn't mean it is the same thing. The reason we ignore these people, and we ignore them, they think we'll go away. And for most part, most people do. They think, let them bitch, let them do this, let them do that. They ain't got a leg to stand on. They'll go away. Because they know that those of us who don't have those fucking problems, we're more powerful than them. And it's just by the same token, there's people out there who have more material things. Like I said, people that have more, that they hate on us. You have more material things. You have a better car. They want us to compete with them. And we're not in competition with that. People hate it, especially men, when they can't pull you in. I won't play their game. Maybe I have better love. Maybe I have better relationships. Maybe I have better discipline. Not just me, as anybody. They hate that. They'd never say that. The reason people default back to material things and money and financial success is they don't want to, they're not going to say, hey, I wish I had their relationship. I wish I had that fucking marriage. I wish I had that level of discipline. So they do things that are comparable in what social media tells you, and this world and society tells you should compare. This is why they hate their people talking to us. Because they're not about what's best for everybody. Same with our fucking government. It's not best for everybody. It's what's best for them. But the way they speak, they're getting the consensus of the people who vote. That can vote. You go keep stacking up felonies, going to jail, getting fucking drug charges. You can't fucking do these things. And they're banking on that. You want to get in there and make a fucking difference? Then you stay out of that shit so you can climb up the fucking ranks and get them motherfuckers out of there. They hate that I'm a middle-aged white guy saying this shit. That's what they hate. They seen our potential before we did, oftentimes. I'm glad I corrected myself, and they're hoping that we didn't. They're hoping that we never acknowledged our potential. So what they do a lot of times is they'll downplay the knowledge and the intelligence and the experience that we have to try to hope and we don't notice it with ourselves, to think that, they're just a worker. They're just an employee. They've been through this. They want in our head to make us, without coming out and saying it, that we don't belong there. And then what we do is subconsciously, we believe that we don't belong there. What makes these motherfuckers belong there? They don't belong there no more than we do. We've let them. Let me tell you something before I go, because I have so much more to say on this. I don't move out of the way for authority, privilege, power, or title. And let me tell you, the same way I don't just because you happen to reach a certain age. Just like I don't for certain fucking kids or fucking elders. I'm going to be respectful of everybody to start with. I respect everybody to start with. And I let them earn their disrespect. I don't have to give you no more fucking respect than I do anybody else. No more than you do me. So here's the thing. Is the reason I don't move out of the way for these people, because let me tell you something. Just like a fucking thug or a fucking criminal thinks you're fucking scared of them for whatever reason because of how they look and because of the image they portray. Well, privilege and people that are fucking plugged in and that have been in this life, or just even in just at a smaller scale from your community. People been moving out of their way and giving them a green light and a fucking free pass and an exit and a get out of jail free card their whole fucking life. And chances are more than one family member. And the reason they're like that is because y'all don't fucking check them. And because you do move out of their way. I'm not moving out of your fucking way. Move me. If you have to work that hard against us, then you're not what you say you are. We are a real threat. Quit letting these people think that all of us, that you're not good enough to do this, but you have to do your homework. You have to self-educate yourself. And you have to beat them at the their own game that hardly anyone is contesting them on. They usually have no opponents. They don't get challenged. So I want to talk about this later. I might do a part 2. Remember, let's talk before I leave. Self-sabotage is an inside job. And most of these people were counting on us sabotaging ourselves from the get-go in life. And so many people did. But for those of us that didn't, fucking do something about it. On whatever scale what it is. And it goes to employers too. Employees are banking on the fact that if you're a low person on the position at work, they just assume that you have a low position because you don't have any fucking self-education and any intelligence. Remember, education and intelligence are two different things. I know a lot of people that have an education or a degree that have fucking no, not talking about common sense, they have no fucking intelligence or very little at the least. They haven't dealt with enough adversity in their life. They haven't been told no. They haven't had very much experience. And if you don't have that, you might be reasonably smart or you're 1 or 2 dimensional degree. But people like us, that we have the education to go with our experience and we have the intelligence, they're hoping that we don't notice it. So what they try to do is they try to water us down, or they fucking get by themselves and think, I didn't know this motherfucker knew this. They're hoping that they can kind of ignore us, bypass us, or try to suppress the things that we know, and hoping that nobody else notices. They'll go to the people that are like them, that don't even have these fucking tools, just because that's who they want it to be. Don't water yourself down for fucking nobody. Because the mindset is maybe you'd be a little less confrontational, maybe you'd be a little less matter of fact, maybe you'll be a little bit more this. And what they think is, well, maybe if you wouldn't have did that, they would have did this. If they were going to fucking do it, they would have done it anyway. If they were going to work with you, if they were going to network with you, if they were going to promote you, if they were going to give you the raise, if they were going to connect you, if they were going to arrange the meeting, whatever it was, if they're going to acknowledge you, they would have did it anyway. They hate that it's us. It's just like, kind of like I just had the conversation today. I was like, people get upset about this. It's just like the religion thing. Whatever my relationship with God is or it's not is none of nobody's business, but I'm not religious. All you have to do is start talking about God and religion, and you changed your life, and you got saved, and you turned your... People fucking eat that shit up. They want you to share your testimony. What's the same thing with the prison or drug story? I'm not down on nobody that has turned their life around. You know I'm all about it, and I say this, I say this a lot. Is the story that those of us who have endured what we have in this life, and we haven't became a victim of circumstance or a statistic, and we've done none of those things, is that story not compelling? This is why we're a threat. They could say, yeah, they're smart, or they have a reasonable amount of intelligence, and they're tough, and they've really turned their life around, but they went to prison for that. Or they're this, remember they used to have a drug problem. We haven't, motherfucker. And I'm not down to nobody who has. We probably got less fucking dirt on us than you motherfuckers do. And you know that. So you got to go digging. You got to get up a team. You got all these fucking people fucking promoting you, applauding you, telling you how good you are, how great. You've been hearing that shit your whole life. The same kind of people, not different people. And understand this: if them people look like me, same color, look about the same, around the same age, and these people aren't very diverse, if you happen to be African American or Hispanic, they not doing what's best for you. I can promise you that. They just hate that I'm the motherfucking white boy that says it. Y'all stay humble and live savage.